since you can't get out of the house, let's talk golf. For those of you that know me, I'm all about fundamentals. The golf swing should be less moving parts. It should be simplified. But just because something looks simple doesn't mean that it's simple to do. So I'm going to talk about some things, but don't take it for granted, because when you look at it, it looks simple, but it takes time to learn it. I want you to get this concept, because a lot of times I notice that people have a lot of unnecessary moving parts in their golf swing. So as I demonstrate this simple concept, I'd love for you to translate that and kind of declutter some things that you do for your golf swing, or information that you've picked up along the way that is just unnecessary moving parts. I'm going to talk about just a pitch shot, and it's just a half swing of your full swing. But do you see how I dangle my arms back and forth? It seems like, okay, that's super simple. But when I have people do it, you'll be surprised, because yeah, they can sort of do this, but when they translate it into the golf swing, it just goes away, the simplicity of it. So when you have a golf club in your hand, you have so many thoughts of what it needs to do, and so many thoughts of, like, is it the arms? Is it the body? What activates the downswing? What activates the backswing? You compartmentalize so much of these tips that in the end there is no flow, there is no coordination, there is no sequence. So I'd love for you to get that idea that it's not one thing that takes the club back. It's not one thing that brings the club down. It's a sequence. And when you get in that idea, you'll stop compartmentalizing or stop thinking of one isolated movement, because in the end, our body's connected. It's not one isolated movement that's going to fix everything. And so when I talk about something as simple as this, let's do that. Let me show you from this angle. You know, forget golf for a second. You know, how does the body coordinate? And so if you look at it in golf terms, what really generates the club head? You know, if you have a club in your hand, what takes it back? Well, if I feel it, it's everything. And what makes it come down? Is it the legs? Is it the hips? You know, everybody tries to figure that out, and I'm like, no, I mean, if you think about it, you're going to use gravity, and when the arms drop, there is coordination. I mean, I'm not going to want to take my arms back and then fire with my lower body. I mean, that just takes the whole sequence away. You see how I just got really uncoordinated? I feel really rigid coming down, and I don't want to manipulate the downswing. You know, if I just find the sequence, in the end, it's like, oh wow, everything goes together. So I'd love for you to get in that mindset, because now I have a club in my hand, and a lot of you can do this without a club, and then you put a club in your hand and suddenly everything breaks down, because you forget to move the lower part and it's all arms, and then you fire with your lower body and everything kind of breaks down. Do you see how when you have a club in your hand, you can't really see that that's all broken up? But check this out. If I go back with my arms and I fire with my lower body, look at my arms. And that creates an unnatural follow through. And then you think about lag and all that stuff, and it's like, oh, we got to create lag. So then you go here and you're like this. And if you think about it, I mean, that is so unnatural. I mean, it should just come down like this. So we want to play with gravity. I always talk about the power of the universe, you know, gravity, and you want to play with it. You want to dance with it. You don't want to fight it. I'm making it where you can understand the idea, but also don't take it and think that it's simple. It's a simple thing, but to break down all the things that you've done or habits that you've done, you know, swings that you've done for so many years, it takes time to not do much, to be more fluid. So as much as I'll hit these shots and you go practice, don't feel like you have to hit these shots right now. You know, be patient with yourself. But I'd love for you to get in the mindset that it is a flow. It's not isolated. It's an entire body motion because our body is connected. You don't want to think just arms. You don't want to think just legs. You don't want to think just hips. It's all connected like a dance. At times when I teach, I do break the pieces apart like steps in a dance. But then when they all come together, they flow. But I don't want you to get in the mindset of this is lag. This is the downswing. What causes a downswing? The lower body. It's not like that. Because you don't want your lower body to outrace the club. You don't want to come to the ball like this. That creates body speed. You want to have club head speed. To have club head speed, it's got to be always in front of you, in front of your body. You don't want it to be behind you like this. You just want it here, and you just want a flow. And I just love practicing this because it helps other parts of my game. It's not just that I'm practicing this short shot or a pitch shot. And it creates a lot of flow and coordination. You know, I can feel parts of my body where I feel my shoulder blades, my core, my glutes getting engaged. I feel footwork. But just because I feel those things, I don't want to isolate it and go, this is how the footwork should work, or this is how your hips should feel, and just only isolate that. It's everything. And so, you know, just like I did with just dangling my arms and finding that coordination, this motion, in the end, nothing really outraces the other. You're moving and dancing and flowing within yourself, and it's a sequence. So think of it that way. Keep practicing, and I'll give you some more thoughts and ideas and concepts that you can wrap around, and over time it'll sound logical. You know, and if you have any questions, reach out to me. Take care.